morning, students. Today I am going to start with a new chapter of economics, that is collection of data. Well, children, as you already know that statistics means collection of quantitative information in order to reach to a meaningful conclusion. So today we are going to focus on the collection of data, which includes the sources of data and methods of collecting the data. But before we begin, one should know that what is the purpose of collecting the data. So a student of economics like you, the purpose of data collection is to understand, analyze and explain a socio-economic problem. Let's say a problem of unemployment or a problem of poverty. So while analyzing the problem, we also try to understand the causes behind the problem and also the possible solutions which we could take out. So this entire procedure requires a comprehensive support of some numerical facts, and those numerical facts are called data. So this data which we have to collect for some or the other reason is been divided into primary and secondary sources. So if we talk about the primary source of data implies collection of data from its source of origin. And children, it offers you a first-hand quantitative information relating to some statistical study. That means primary source of collecting data offers you a primary data which is collected by the investigator for his own purpose for the first time from beginning to end. And these are collected from the source of origin. And when we talk about the secondary data, then secondary source of collection of data implies obtaining the relevant statistical information from an agency or an institution which is already possessing that information. That means secondary data are those which are already in existence and which have been collected for some or the other purpose. And these data are called the second-hand data. The reason because they have been already collected by somebody, and these are available in the form of published or unpublished reports. Now, let's see what is the difference between primary data and secondary data. Children, there are three basic differences between two of them. The first one is difference in originality. That means primary data are original because these are collected by the investigator from the source of origin, whereas secondary data are already in existence and therefore are not original because somebody else have collected it and somebody else is using it. Then the second difference is difference in the suitability of objectives. That means primary data are always related to a specific objective of investigator. These data therefore do not need to be adjusted. Whereas if we talk about a secondary data, they have been already collected for some other purpose. Therefore, when these data are to be used, then they need to be adjusted according to this study, for which that data has been used. Then the third difference is difference in cost of collection. Children, do you know primary data are costly in terms of time, money and efforts involved than the secondary data. This is because primary data is a first-hand data, means it is the data which is first time collected from the source of origin. So it costs you more, whereas second data is simply collected from the published or unpublished report, and accordingly these are much less expensive. Now, there are some different statistical method or the mode of data collection. So if we talk about the primary source, then under primary source we have a certain data which is being used to collect the information and then to analyze it. So here we have a different method of collecting the data under the primary. So let's start. The first one is the direct personal investigation. Now, the word itself telling you direct personal investigation means that personally you are approaching to a person. So direct personal investigation is the method by which data personally collected by the investigator from the informants. Now over here, what happens that, let's say, the investigator establishes a very direct relationship with the person from whom the information has to be obtained. So such kind of information or investigation is limited. It's not very large because you can approach to a limited number of the people. Then it has a greater degree of originality. The reason, because data is being collected from a person directly. And over here the information is always kept secret, and accuracy of data is of a great significance. The reason, because this data has been collected with the direct contact with the informants. Then we have an indirect oral investigation. Under this, when we talk about an indirect oral investigation, then it is the method by which information is obtained not from the person regarding whom the information is needed. Rather, it is collected orally from the other person who are expected to know about that particular person and can render the necessary information about him. So these other persons are known as witness. You can say, for example, the data on the economic condition of the workers may be collected from the employees rather than the workers themselves. Now this data is suitable as in the case of, let's say, when the investigation is very large. Now over here it is not possible to have a direct contact with the concerned informants, and that is why the information is gathered from a person known to that particular person. Now the concerned informants are not capable of giving information because of their ignorance of illiteracy. Maybe the person from whom you want to collect the information is not able to give you because the person is illiterate. That is why you collect from the other person who knows him. Now investigation is so complex in nature over here that only experts can give in the information, and this method is generally used by government or non-government committees or commission. Now the next is information from local sources or, let's say, correspondent. But before we come towards that, let's see what is the difference between direct personal investigation and oral. During direct personal investigation, the investigator personally contacts the informants. On the other hand, indirect information is obtained by some other who knows him. Then again, direct personal investigation is generally possible when the field of investigation is small, whereas indirect when the field of investigation is large. Then under direct personal investigation, the investigator must be well versed in the language and culture habits of informants. That means he should be able to speak the same language, the language which the informants know, so that the information could be taken out. Whereas in indirect personal investigation, no such requirement is required because you are collecting the information from some other person. So the next form of collection of the primary data is information from the local sources or correspondent. Now under this, what you do, that under this the investigator appoints a local person of that particular place from where the information has to be gathered. For example, if the information has to be gathered from a person who lives in Lucknow, then a person who is a local person of that place, that is Lucknow, he is appointed, and they collect the information in their own way and furnish the same to the investigator. Over here, a regular and continuous information is needed. The area of investigation is large, and the information is to be used by journals, magazines, radio, TV, and a high degree of accuracy information is not required because you are depending on the other person for collecting the information for you who is residing in some other area or region. Then comes information through questionnaires and schedules. Now under this method, the investigator prepares a questionnaire keeping in view the objective of the inquiry. And there are two ways of collecting that information. One is mailing method, another one is an enumerative method. When we talk about a mailing method, children, a letter has been attached with the questionnaire, giving the purpose of inquiry. Means a questionnaire has been formed. With that questionnaire, letter is attached that why this information is collected, and it is also assured that the information would be kept secret. The informant notes the answer against the question, returns and completes the questionnaires. Now under this the area of study is very wide. You can distribute to a large number of people, and the informant has to be an educated to give the response. Then the enumerator method means under this a question is prepared according to the purpose of inquiry, and the enumerator himself approach the informants with the questionnaire. The question is filled by the enumerator themselves, putting the questions, and thus under this method enumerator himself fills the schedules after seeking information from the informant. That means an enumerator, he writes the information which he gathered from the informants. Now the field of investigation is here also very large. The investigation needs specialized and skilled investigators. The reason, because over here what has been happening, that the investigator, he has to be well versed in the information which he wants to get from the informants. Now the next is, under this there is also a construction of a questionnaire which is known as a schedule, which has a specific significance. Now this is known as a, let's say, a questionnaire which contains the entire information which has been recorded by the informant themselves, generally for the people who are literate. And then in the schedule, on the one hand, the information is supplied by the informant and is recorded by the enumerators. So the qualities of good questionnaire should be limited number of questions, then simplicity should be there, proper order of questions, no undesirable questions should be asked, non-controversial should not be asked, then pre-testing pilot survey should be there, instructions, cross-verification, request for return, everything has to be clearly mentioned so that the person who fills the questionnaire is very much comfortable in let's say answering the questionnaires, and accordingly the information could be gathered and the purpose is fulfilled. Thank you. Good morning.